Yes?
There's a question right there.
What profession do you need to be an SH judge?
Good question. As you can see,
We are all different things.
there is
no requirement.
no requirement other than care and like kids and be kind and be want to be a part of the school community, that we're interested in what you're learning. Just being interested.
No more.
No, anybody can judge. Yes?
How did you know you wanted to become an SH judge?
You answer that.
No, you go ahead, Nick.
I'll go ahead and start. I knew when basically, I received the email. I work for Howard County, so I received the email asking to come, and I think it's valuable. I see the value. I learned a long time ago the value of learning as soon as you can to talk in a public forum. When I was your ages, I never thought that I would be talking in front of people, but now I actually teach a class every month. A couple of times I teach 2 classes a month. I come in contact with people on a regular basis, and I have to learn how to communicate. And I want to pass the same on to you. I want to help prepare you, so that's why I volunteered to come over here and do this.
Going back to what the question was, when the program first started, half of my kids had already been through 5th grade, and the other half hadn't, because we got 4 kids. So I got kind of started in as the parent, but then they needed somebody, and I got drug in as a judge, kind of at the last minute. That's a resounding theme in my life. And I've been here ever since, because once you start coming, they get your phone number, and they keep calling you.
Who's they?
She's sitting over there. And it actually, it's really, really fun. I mean, I look forward to it every year. I've been doing it every year, and I do 15 schools or so a year, so.
Do you think you can share with them what happened this morning? Because they're not alone as far as being put on the spot and being a little nervous. Can you tell them what happened this morning?
So I'm sitting there looking around, and she comes up and she says, my speaker didn't show up this morning. Could you be the opening speaker? That's why we were all sitting in the cafeteria. Sure. Yeah. And that was not an act. I really, really do get nervous every time I speak. So my heart rate was 135 when I get started. So I calmed down a little bit once.
But I thank you very much.
So I'd do anything for them. My husband says SCH is adult daycare for me. He sends me here to keep me out of trouble. I have those moments
That's okay.
all the time.
That's okay.
All the time.
We'll keep you in reserve. We'll keep you in reserve. We'll call you the next time. Yes.
What age do you have to be a SH judge?
What age do you have to be?
What age do you have to at least be to be a SH judge?
We've had,
The chairman of the board,
We've had students,
Towson students are about,
but I think we
My
had,
daughter was judging as a senior in high school.
yeah,
Probably 18, 19.
No, she was a senior in high school and she was judging as a senior.
yeah.
how old is the student member of the board?
She's a rising junior, so she would be 16 or 17.
Because the student member of the board, they've been our speakers and judges in the past.
Oh, 16.
Would be 16, 17, depending on,
You can hold the job.
You got it?
Yes.
How many years have you been judging?
This is my 16th year. I did the first pilot year at Tridelphia.
This is 15.
My second year.
This is my 3rd year. I wanted to judge when my kids were in elementary school, but that would have been embarrassing. So I was banned from judging, so I'm happy to be back now.
any more questions?
What's your favorite part of the job?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
What's your favorite part of the job? Your favorite part?
Are we all supposed to answer?
Yeah, anything, yeah, what's your favorite part of your job, and then other people can add on.
Well, my job, I work in Annapolis at the General Assembly, So one thing I like to do is research bills that are, especially the ones that I'm important, that I think are important. For example, I'll give you an example. This past year, there was a football player at the University of Maryland. His name was Jordan McNair.
I was talking about it.
Yeah, so you might have heard of him, and unfortunately, he passed away. He was on the football field, and a lot of adults who should have known better didn't recognize the signs of him being in distress health-wise and didn't take precautions. So his family was devastated. And as a result, this is, when something goes wrong in our system, the legislator is there to make things right sometimes. So one of the bills that was just signed into law by Governor Hogan this past week, the legislator I worked for, Shelley Heddleman, she wrote a law that says if you are a college level athlete in any school in Maryland, that you have the right to be able to report to an outside agency that's not the coach, that's not the athletic director, and say, hey, I don't think that what's going on here is right, and I am concerned for my safety, or something's not right in this department, and I'm gonna go complain to somebody else. So I was so excited to be a part of that. So I helped research, I helped call people, I helped get people to come testify. We had students and student athletes that participated. So I feel like being part of the process is the exciting part of my job.
To answer your question, previously, as being working in the office of the fire marshal, I was previously actually worked as a firefighter, fighting fires, etc. I enjoyed the fact that I got to help people. At the end of the day, no matter how stressful the day was, I can go home and feel positive that I helped someone, that I made a difference. Now that I work in the office of the fire marshal, instead of making a difference on the back end, I now make a difference on the front end. Whereas I help prevent fires. So even though I don't go home with the same feeling of accomplishment, because I actually physically did something, but I know what I've done all day long will eventually, or probably help keep someone from getting into the situation that they were in, that I used to rescue them from, if you understand what I'm saying. So that's the best part of my job, just the fact that I can still help people.
Because of what you two do, fewer people have to be rescued.
Yes,
That can be positive.
yes. As I made up, my job is to keep the fire trucks in the firehouse.
There you go.
That's what I made up. Now, that's not the fire department said that. That's Charles Brown said that.
Ditto.
Yeah.
My favorite part of my job is coming out and working with you all, like we did at the kickoff, and working in the classroom, and anytime I'm with students, nothing can top that. I love working with students. Any other questions?
Stefan has a question. What's your favorite part about being a judge?
That question was answered, right?
Right, no, this is a little different question. My favorite part about being a judge, and I think what keeps me coming back, is nobody ever really asks kids your age your opinion on things. So for this entire day, all of the adults come out for no other reason but to hear your opinions and your thoughts and all. So I think that's great that, we have to stay focused on hearing what you're thinking, because you don't get asked that often enough, or you don't even get to practice expressing those thoughts and all. So I think that's the best part of this.
I have a question for
Mr. Bro?
you, the fire marshal,
I'm not the fire marshal. I work in the office of the fire marshal.
and you're supposed to keep the firehouses in the fire department?
No, what I was saying is.
He's already in trouble. He's
Yeah, I
already in
already
trouble.
said, when I said my job is to keep the fire trucks in the firehouse, what I mean is by doing fire prevention and people having less fires, then the fire trucks don't have to leave the
Then how do the
firehouse.
firemen get paid?
They're gonna get paid.
Oh, they get
They
paid,
get paid.
they don't get paid only if they fight a fire. That's bad.
They're there
That's
24/7.
not a good, that's not a good incentive.
We don't work on commission. That's when you do something and then you get paid for it. We get paid.
To be there and
to be
ready and
there.
available.
Yes.
Oh,
don't get paid by the fire.
Which is good in Howard
Which is
County,
good.
because we don't have
We
that
don't
many.
have many, and we have not had a fire in the Howard County School for 35 years.
Any other questions? Anybody have anything else?
Give me an example of your job, like that you do.
Give an example of a job. An example.
What they do.
I'm a data scientist, so I do research. My field is energy, so I look at things that are happening around the world in energy that have to do with pricing or new fuels or legislation or whatever's gonna change the picture of energy, and then I make that data available for other people to use. So it's like finding out things people will need to know in order to make the decisions they need to make, and make sure that that information is accurate and contributes to coming to a solution. So it's like solving a question that hasn't been answered yet, and trying to make sure all those, making sure all those pieces are there so it will work, and then helping people if they need assistance in using it.
I'm a firefighter, so other than that, but I do work in the fire marshal's office. What we do is just slightly different. I do a lot of public education, so my day can be out either installing smoke alarms in somebody's house for them, teaching them how to exit their house. One of my main focus is I'm the Safe Kids Coordinator for Howard County. So I focus on all injuries in children under 18 that are unintentional. So I can, like later on this evening, I'm putting in car seats for people and showing them how to put their car seats in. I do bike safety radios, teach people how to childproof their house. So my day is usually out teaching and, people how to be safe.
My day is generally spent doing three things. I answer questions when people call the office of the fire marshal and they have a question about the fire code. I research it and give them an answer about the fire code. My other job is I go out to places like this school. When a new school opens, I go in and I measure the cafeteria to tell how many people they can have in there. I do that with new restaurants as well. And I like to bring that up to you because when I was your age, I never thought that I was going to have to use geometry for anything other than passing a test. And now I find that I use it quite often in doing the job that I do. So they're the two primary things that I do.
Like I said, I do a lot of research, and then I also help people solve problems. So if you live in a legislative district and you call Annapolis and you call your representative about any kind of issue, navigating the government, any kind of, we are there to help you. Your state representative is there to serve you. So kids, adults, whoever it is that has a problem, you can call the office and we help you try to solve that problem, so that I'm a problem solver. And the other part of my job that I'm doing right now is giving away scholarships, because the Maryland General Assembly gives away scholarships. So please remember that when you get into high school. If you're going to a Maryland school, any school, public school in Maryland, you can apply to get a delegate scholarship. So you can apply to your senator and your delegate to get money. So if you have older siblings, spread the word.
Can you give them an example of a problem that a child or around their age has brought to you, or your?
We had some, I work in the Baltimore County area, so we had some students from a school in Baltimore County come, and they were concerned about the environment. They were concerned about some flooding behind their house. And then I had another student talk about, they were really interested in issues about animal cruelty. So all the students from the school came with their own individual issues that they were concerned about or that they were affecting them, and they brought it, they came and visited and wrote letters, emailed, called, and the delegates try to help them either by saying, hey, this legislation has to do with it, or here, let me help you, like empower you to make a difference. Here's what you can do in your own community that can help with flooding. And I think they did some spray painting in their neighborhood to say, hey, this flows out to the Chesapeake Bay, so that people in their neighborhood would know not to pollute. So there's lots of ways that students can make a difference.
Thank you, that's all I have to have today.